And tonight's story is no different. Before I bring her in, though, I wanted to remind you all what this project is all about. So, like I said in the beginning, we are going to heal millions of people of all ethnicities, all races. That's the same thing. Ethnicities, races, all ages, male, females. We're going to heal each other through the sharing of our life stories. And we're going to share about how life trauma happens sometimes, but then your life isn't over after that. There's a transition period. And then you're going into living triumphantly. And triumph does not mean I'm living like I'm wealthy, I'm a celebrity, or none of that. Maybe triumph means that to some people, but for most of us, triumph means I am still here, because whatever happened to me could have taken me out, but I'm still here. I'm still thriving in life. I'm still able to love and share love and talk about love. So triumph could simply mean your heart is back whole and you're able to just continue your life triumphantly. Doesn't have to mean anything other than that right there. I made it. I survived whatever it is I survived. And some of us have life trauma more than once in our lives. There's people have dealt with being molested as a child, and then people deal with things as a teenager. Young adults, old people go through life trauma. You just never know when that life trauma is going to hit. And if you've never ever vented about it, this is the place to do it. In a safe place. I'm like your girlfriend, your cousin, your sister. To some people, some young girls, I'm the auntie. I'm the cool auntie, though. All of my kids' friends think I'm the cool bonus mom. So the safe place to share your story is right here on our Trauma to Triumph platform. And what we're doing right now with these weekly lives is we're developing content. This is going to become a huge project. This is going to become huge. I'm manifesting something right here now, y'all. So while you see me once a week here on Instagram Live, wait until you see all of us, because y'all coming with me, okay? We a tribe. We in this together. But we're going to be on a major platform. I don't know where. I don't know if it's going to be OWN. I don't know if it's going to be Netflix. But I'm telling you all, what we're doing with this Trauma to Triumph project is a big deal. And it's mental health related. And it's going to be a big deal on a larger platform. We're all in this together, right? And that being said, I do still take donations. So if you are interested in helping this project move to the next level, which is I've got to get some filming done. The springtime is here. We're ready to get filming done back into a studio. I have people lined up that are going to be filmed inside of the studio to talk about their life trauma and how they transitioned into living triumphantly. And so, I've got to get another film team. I got to get an editing team, because we've got a lot of stuff already filmed that we've got to get. You see, I speak we, all of us. We have to get everything that we filmed. Now we've got to get it edited. We've got to get it. We've got to get it marketed out there, and I've got to get it in front of the right people. But before I do that, I have to find a really good editor. So if y'all know somebody who believes in this project with their heart, and they will, work for food. I fry good chicken. Listen, I need help. So I'm gonna put in the comments really quick, and then Tanya, I'm gonna bring you in. I'm gonna put in the comments how you can donate. You can donate via Cash App or PayPal, or you can donate directly on the website. The website is Trauma2Triumph. DOC.com. Y'all got that? Trauma, the number 2. I'm typing right now. That's why I'm looking crazy. Trauma, the number 2, Triumph. DOC.com is the website. And there's a donate button on my website. And PayPal, let's do PayPal too. I'll show y'all PayPal. PayPal is another easy, safe way to donate. I've been having people donate as little as $5. And you know what? I am so grateful. I'm just as grateful for these $5 donations as I am for the $50 ones. So listen, no amount is too small. We are trying to make something happen here with this Trauma to Triumph project. And God is going to make a way. I already know that. Trauma to Triumph. And then I can post this and then we can get going. All right. Okay, y'all. So I got that out there for y'all. If you're interested in donating to help move this project forward, that's how you do it. And what else did I want to tell y'all? I've got a mother's heart brunch coming up April the 22nd, where it's going to be moms and daughters. So me and my grown daughters, we're going to talk about what it was like to raise these women who used to be teenage monsters. They've grown into amazing women. So if you have a young daughter, a teenage daughter especially, you need to come to this brunch from the heart of a mother. I'm going to be talking about my experience. My daughter is going to talk about it from her perspective. I'm sure she has things to say about me as a mom, a single mom, from her perspective. So it's going to be really good. We've got some really good food, mimosas, some great prizes. Tickets are only $50, y'all. We have like 2 vendor slots left. Only 2 vendor slots left. The flyer and the Eventbrite link, everything, you can do your vendor slot as well as a ticket. $50 tickets, that's it. You get food and you get a really, really great program. It's on April the 22nd from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. And we're going to have a great time. We've got a DJ too, so we're going to have a really fun time. I want y'all to be there, okay? Can y'all support me and let's pack it out, please? I'm doing this in collaboration with, oh my gosh, A Woman's Voice Matters. Have you all ever heard of Lady Nakia Wright? She's one of my Trauma to Triumph women as well. Her nonprofit organization is called A Woman's Voice Matters. And so we are collabing together to bring to you this mom's daughters brunch on April 22nd. It's going to be fabulous, y'all. Don't miss it. Okay, Tanya, you ready? Is you ready? Isn't there a song to be like, is you ready? Whole squad, is you ready? Okay. See if I can get her on here. Did I do it right, Tanya? Do you see it? Oh.
Hi.
I did it. Hello.
Hello there. How are you?
I'm doing great. You look good.
Thank you. You too.
Yes, you look amazing with all that healthy hair hanging down. You look really good.
Thank you.
I'm trying to make sure. Is my thing crooked, Tanya? Or are we good?
No, we good. I'm on my phone. I couldn't get my laptop to work, so I'm on my phone, so we good.
Well, you know these Instagram lives, they don't work on laptops.
Oh, okay.
So it wouldn't have worked
Maybe
on your
that's why I
laptop
wasn't.
anyway.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah, so I briefly introduced you. I just said, I have an amazing woman coming on tonight, Tanya Washington. But what I want you to do is just take a brief moment to just reintroduce yourself.
Okay.
And just talk briefly about, like where you are in life today. And then we'll take it back. We'll go back down memory lane and you will talk about in your own way, your life trauma. I already know your story, or some of your story, the surface part. And I want you to do it in your words, and let's talk about it together.
Okay. So again, my name is Tanya Washington. Right now in life, I'm coming along. I'm getting better. With friends and family help. I'm a mother.
I think you need to turn your volume up, Tanya, or something.
Is that better?
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
I'm a mother, a grandmother. I work for the Washington Hospital Center, so I enjoy helping out other people. And that's pretty much it. Just, getting myself back together and finding my strength within me to keep moving forward.
That's right, Tanya. Yeah, and so where you are today, you're an amazing, like you said, you're an amazing woman, grandma, and mom. But your journey hasn't been easy.
No.
Your journey actually has been tougher than most.
Yes, it does.
Based on what I know. So you want to you can go back as far as you'd like to go. Let's do that.
Okay.
Take us back as far as you want to go, where the starting point, where trauma first entered your life, and then we will talk about it together.
Okay. So I'll start back off a little younger, although it wasn't much of the trauma, but it builds up to that point. So
Exactly.
I could say when I was a kid, everybody, it was me, my brother, my mother and father. So we had this perfect like family, as people thought, one kid and two kids. And we lived in Northeast DC, then we moved to Bowie, and everybody like, ooh, the big house, the swimming pool, and such a big thing. Oh, y'all must be rich. But I would say my
Tanya,
household was
y'all had a
bad.
swimming pool.
We did.
Mm, back in those days, that
We
did
did.
mean rich.
We did. So everybody felt like it was the perfect family. Um, I'll say this. I know my parents loved me because they were my parents, but it was feeling the love that I didn't always feel. So
Mm-hmm.
I remember, my mother never, or my father for that case, ever saying I love you until I became an adult. And
Wow.
my dad had this saying he used to say, and it was "guma guma," and we always accepted that as saying "I love you" because he never said the words, so we assumed that. But so like I said, we lived in this household. I had my own room, and back then, you had your room, your own phone, the TV. So we never ate family as a dinner. I mean, sorry, a dinner as a family.
As a
So I was
family.
always so much like a loner, even though we were all together in the household. Um, I remember one day my mother, and I don't know how we got on this subject, but she always wanted to have a son. But I was born first. But she told me one day that if my brother was born first, I might not be here.
She might
So,
not have had more.
right. So I'm glad I made it first.
Yes, me
So
too.
that was the plus.
Because now you have a
Yes.
brother.
So,
It's you and your brother.
um, yes. So it was me and my brother. So then to get to all that, like I said, there wasn't a lot of love and feeling in the household, but like I said, I knew they loved me because they were my parents. And my mother shopped a lot, so she would buy me things and think that would be take the place of that. But of course, I wanted so much more because I was a cheerleader, so I wanted her to be there when I was cheering and just support me like she did with my brother. And I didn't always feel that same type of situation with her. So then it
Wow.
comes to
How
so it
many
was
years apart, real quick, were you and your brother, Tanya?
5 years. We're five
Okay.
years apart. Yeah. So so just going through all that, but no one looking in would ever know that because I don't know, I guess I've always had that same inner strength that I just kind of look to myself for, and I just kind of just kept going with that, and I feel like I still do that. But I have a cousin and she always tells me I always say I'm Tanya Washington, I don't give a damn, although I do, but I just
That's a
I
coping
do. But
mechanism, though.
yeah, it's just
You
the
know that?
way I deal with things, right?
That's a coping mechanism.
So yeah, it definitely is. So to get through all that, growing up, I used to babysit my brother, and I kind of was envy of it because I didn't want to watch him because I thought he wasn't my kid. But my mom was like, "Oh, you gotta watch your little brother," so
Yep.
things like that. So we were pretty close growing up and everything. But the hard part started to come. So like I said, I have three kids, a son and two daughters. In '97, I was pregnant with my youngest daughter. My dad, he was a U.S. Marshal. So, he's the big man, now he's retired at 50. And at 51, he has a massive heart attack and dies. Like, just instantly. No, in the hospital, no nothing. He had
Wasn't
the heart
sickly
attack.
or anything.
No, nothing. Like I said, he just retired from the Marshal Service. And I'm thinking, okay, well, every year he should have had this physical. He should have been healthy. But he just he moved some furniture that day. He told my grandmother he wasn't feeling well. His back was aching, and hours later, I got a call that my dad had died. So
Wow.
that was definitely a hard thing. Because even though, like I said, we weren't close, I still was a daddy's girl regardless. That was my, he was my go-to. Like if my mother was like, "Oh, go ask your father," I knew if I asked him anything, I was gonna get it. So that
Mm-hmm.
was, my thing. So, and I know even though people say, well, we live and then we die, but at that point, my dad was my dad, and he was the only person I think that close to me that I could think of that really had passed away. My grandparents did, but they were older, so I just wasn't expecting that out of anywhere. So
Right.
then, then moving forward, I had my daughter. She's 25 now. Um, so everything seems to be going well. Jobs, career, raising kids and everything. And then my brother, he comes up with this autoimmune disease that no one had ever heard of, and it's called scleroderma. Now, it's supposed to be a
Yeah,
white
I
woman's
never heard
disease.
that.
He wasn't white, nor was he a woman. And it made it seem like all his immune system like was malfunctioning. Like he had high
Mm-hmm.
blood pressure, high cholesterol. He had looked like his kidneys were shutting down. One time they thought he was having a stroke. So he went through all these different stipulations in his life. Like he used to be nice, tall, nice looking, and then his skin pigmentation started to fade, and he would be in the hospital, and then of course they would get angry with me because I didn't want to go see him, not because I didn't love him, but I just could not see my brother in that mode. Like he
Like
had lost
that.
all this weight, and it just had went through so many steps, and he just had gotten depressed and went through so much stuff. So of course it was weighing down on everybody, and he would do things, and I would like, to my mother, because he would play on her emotions. So that would upset me, and then we get into
Mm,
arguments or whatever. But so we went through all that, and he had all this pain medicine, but nobody could seem to heal him or make him feel any better. And then in May of 2020, I talked to him that morning. He called me like at 6 o'clock in the morning, said something happened in his house. He was arguing with somebody, and I told him, okay, well, I really wasn't sure what he wanted me to do, because you're arguing with a grown man. There's nothing I could do against him. But come on to the house, go to my mother's house, just get out of the situation. So that was the last time I talked to him. Around 11 o'clock that same day, someone called me and was like, my cousin kept calling me. I was at work, and I wouldn't answer the phone. So I'm like, why is she calling me? I'm at work. I'm at work. So I finally answered the phone, and her and one of my brother's good friends was on the phone together. And he had told my brother had passed out. So he had took him to the fire station or somewhere. So I kept saying, well, what's going on with him? What's going on with him? So a police officer got on the phone to ask what his name was, because everybody called him by a nickname, either Tony or T.Y., but his name was John.
uh-huh.
So I was gave him his name and everything, whatever, and all that went on. And so then I kept saying, so what's going on with them? And so the officer was like, oh, they're working on it. And then by the time the guy got back on the phone, they said they was putting a sheet over his head. So he had died. So unfortunately, he had got, I guess, so much pain that he took some drugs, and it was laced. And it just went straight to his heart and just instantly killed him. So of course, that's not the call I thought I would be getting from her, and she lived in Florida. So the only thing at that time I could think about was my mother, because my mother, that was her baby, that was her heart and her soul, and I
Yeah.
could not, I didn't want anybody to call her on the phone and tell her until I got there. So I left work. I didn't tell nobody. I grabbed my purse, my keys. I just left. I went to my mother. I got there. My son was there. He had called me upset and crying. Told her, don't go in the house. Don't talk to your grandma. Don't tell her nothing. Just go outside if you got to cry. So I had to go in there. I had to wake my mother out of her sleep and tell her that her only son had just died. So, of course, she's in a rage, and she took it a lot calmer than I thought, and maybe just because I woke her up out of her sleep. But um, yeah. So that was number two of my Washington men. My first and my only, my father, and then my brother. And then, even before my brother, I'm sorry. In 97, no, 90, I can't think of the years now, but I had a grandson. And my grandson, he spent every moment with me at my house. Like his mom would never go home. I'd be like, "Go take her to see your mother." She's a grandma too. She wants to see her baby. So one weekend I left to go to Deep Creek. So she finally went home to visit her mom. I got back that Sunday, and my son called me from Atlanta because he was doing music. It was 2010. Thank you, Crystal. And he said, "Ma, they've taken the baby to the hospital. I need you to go." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm on my way. I'm on my way." It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm running to Children's Hospital. We finally at. So I get there, and this is the year when they had the flu, the H1N1. So they wouldn't let people in, just like with COVID. So I get to the desk, the emergency room, and I'm like, I need to go in there. I need to go. My grandson's back there. And as I'm talking to the officer, they call a code blue, and it's the room he's in. And I know that because his mother told me where he was at. So I said, that's my grandson. I got to get back there. I got to get back there. So the nurse came out and got me, and she took me on to the back. And so they was working on him. And like I said, he was only 10 months old. So, of course, we were all back there, just looking over, praying, hoping all is going to be well. My son's on the telephone trying to get step by step of what's going on. And, like, stay with the baby, mommy. Don't leave him, don't leave him, don't leave him. I'm like, I'm not. I'm here. I'm here. It's all I can do is watch until they, go through it. So go through that. They rush him upstairs, try to do other stuff to him. 30 minutes later, my grandson's died. So now that's the third Washington. My first grandson, my first and only brother, and then my dad. So, years later, right now I have 14 grandkids that I love on so much. Like, if anybody say we're Tanya, she probably got about 5 of her grandkids with her. And that's always, unless I got to go to work. But they are my heart and soul. So after that first one, it tore me apart. It was just like, I don't know, because he felt like he was my own. So, he was my own, but my own that I birthed because I always had him there. So then, life goes on and everybody's growing up, getting stuff together. My son, of course, at the time, because he's only 20 years old, he lost his first son. He's depressed and going through a bunch of stuff, but he was heavy into music. He did a lot of different stuff with like the Ghetto Boys and Chris Brown stuff, but he never really got signed. But he always wanted to say, hey, or always tell me that one day he was going to buy me a house, and take care of me. And I was like, you don't have to take care of me. I'm the mom. You worry about yourself and, take care of yourself. So, but that was always his thing. And as I go back to say that about my mom and my dad never said that I love you. Me and my kids, we never hang the phone up without saying I love you. If we talk 2 seconds, the last thing we say is I love you. And we make sure we say it every given moment, but and that's
So
an
you
important part of the
changed that.
conversation. Yes.
You made sure you changed that when
Yes.
you started having children because you knew how it made you feel to not be told
Correct.
often, I love you. I
Mm-hmm.
love you.
And I even told my mother, like I said, she wasn't a bad mother, but I even remember telling her one day, when I have kids, I'm not going to treat them like you treat me. And like I said, she wasn't abusive. She wasn't, she didn't mistreat me, but I just didn't feel that mother-daughter feeling that
Right.
I felt like I should have felt. So that's what it was. But now fast forward, years later on down, May the 5th, matter of fact, of 2022, I'm out with some friends. I talked to my mom earlier before that, and she was like, oh, I talked to Javon, which is my son. He's going to come over and see me later on. I said, okay, that's good. So she said he had called her a couple of times. I'm like, Grandma, you home? I'm coming. And so she called me, say that he said he was on his way. I said, okay, well, just let me know when he gets there. So I don't think she actually called me, but the next call I got was from my daughter. And she was like, Mom, Jay's been shot, which is what she called my son. So I said, what do you mean he's been shot? She said, he's been shot and he's in surgery. So I leave, driving to the hospital. When I say I don't even know the direction I drove, how I got there, but I was on the road and I was driving. And I ended up into the emergency room in front of the new PG or University of Maryland, whatever they called it now, in Largo. I get there, there's all these police officers and everything's going on. And there's a truck out front that's all shot up and everything. So, of course, we get there, we go inside, trying to figure out what's going on, where he's at and everything. And then there's this, it was almost like TV because they put us in this little room and this little short detective came in. And then I know he started talking and all I remember him saying was, I'm sorry. After that, I remember nothing else. And they told me my son was dead. They wouldn't let me see him. Nothing. I just went running through the hospital calling his name out. I didn't see him. The only thing they showed me was a picture of him. And they said I couldn't go back there because it was a homicide. But I just needed to know that was really my kid.
Right.
And again, that's my first son, my only son, and my 4th Washington man that is gone. And it's just, it's so heartbreaking. He has 5 kids now. He has 1 son and 4 girls. And when I say my babies, all of them, even my other grandkids, nieces and nephews, they miss him so much. Like they play his music. His daughters, I had this old phone. They've sent him text messages saying, I know you're not going to see this, Daddy, but I just miss you. And I said, for people to be so cruel, and I know it's not just my child that was murdered. I feel sad for everybody's. But for people to be so cruel and take a life, and it's not just that life, you're disturbing the whole family. And it's just so unfair. And it's so crazy now I think back how bad he wanted to go see my mom. And it's like, they know they say people feel when things are going to happen or something's not right and they want to do something and they're persistent about it. He was persistent about seeing his grandmother that day. And he got killed literally 10 minutes from her house. Like,
So he
10
never
minutes,
made it.
he made it to her house
He
10
was
minutes after
leaving.
he left her house. 10 minutes after he left her house, is when it happened. Um, Luckily, he had talked to some friends and told them that him and some guys at the gas station had some words. So they're all in jail. So they arrested them all. Um, I'm thankful for that. It ain't bringing my son back, but it got them off the street. So and it's over just stupidity, and I feel like it was just jealousy. Like I said, my son was into music, but he helped everybody. I mean, like I said, he had no deal, but he knew how to make music, and he would help anybody. Anybody interested in music, he was willing to mix some beats. Come on down to grandma's basement, and my mother used to throw him out every night. But he was always a helpful hand. So all I can think of is that they was jealous from something that happened probably almost 20 years ago. My son would have turned 34 in January. These guys was 40 years old. So why at 40 and you got kids, you out running around with guns, shooting up people? So it's just, yeah. And then like I said, I feel sad when I hear about other people's situation, and you always think, never me. I would have never in my lifetime thought that would be my story at all. But
Your
like I
only
said,
son.
my only son. I have two daughters, 25 and
Your
30, but only son, my firstborn. Yeah, and like I said, when I had him, that love that I felt, that void from my mom, I was like, this is it. This is mine to love, and he's gonna love me back unconditionally. So that was like a bonus. He was my bonus person because I knew if nothing else, I would get true and sincere love from my son. And and they just took him away. So it's been a rough time. It's not even been a year yet, but
no, it
you know.
hasn't been a year yet.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. And so little things, sometimes trigger it off. Like I could watch a TV show with like Law and Order and somebody gets shot. And I have to turn away from the TV because it's just something that simple brings back and triggers stuff. So it's a lot of it's hard. But I try to do a lot of stuff with my family. My cousins, we just came back from a cruise for 4 days. So we try to all fellowship and, be together and love on each other to help each other through the different things. And it helps. But sometimes I go places and I almost feel guilty because I feel like I should not be having fun, because he's no longer here. But, everybody keeps saying you got to move forward. And I know I got to push on. And I will say this, a month ago, I bought a house. So this is my house for him.
So
That's even
see,
weirder because he's not here to sharing it, but I got it. So,
but but that's what I mean when I say we talk about trauma, but you getting a house not even a year after losing your son to gun violence
mhm.
is triumphant. That's triumph. It
Yeah.
really, really is. Your mother lost her only son. You lost your only son.
And my son lost
You lost.
his first son. So yeah, it was, yep, all in a pattern.
Did you ever find yourself saying like, I didn't ask this in the beginning, and it's not a big deal either way, but you know, uh, did you ever ask God or be mad at a higher power or just wonder like, why me?
I
Why?
did.
How do I lose my dad at 51 years old, just drops dead?
Hmm. My brother would have just been 50 well, in 2022 he would have turned 50. My
Your
grandson was 10
only
months,
your only brother.
only brother. I don't have any sisters. My only brother, so just me and him.
Your 10-month-old grandson.
Hmm.
And, and then
And
your
then my
son.
son was 33 years old. So yeah, it's been a time.
He was
So now I
33.
visit them all together at Harmony Cemetery, and they're all together in an L shape because I made sure I kept them close. So they're all there. Hmm.
All together.
All together. Yep.
Tanya,
So
I can't, like, I'm sitting here and I'm very seldom am I just lost for words, but I'm lost for words right now because I'm still trying to wrap my mind around losing four males very, 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 very near and dear to your heart. It's like
Yes.
four pieces of your heart taken out.
Yep. Four generations. Four different generations. From my father to my brother to my son to my grandson. Yep. All the
And
first.
so,
And all my onlys.
right.
I have more grandsons now, but at that time.
So you did find yourself questioning, like, why?
I did. But, then you go to think, you can't really question it because, God already has a plan for you. But it still hurts so bad because, you're still, the unexpected is always hard. Like, if it's still hard, but if any of them had been sick, like my brother was sick, but I still didn't expect him to go at that age. But he really suffered a lot
But I get
and
what
was really
you're saying. There's a difference,
right.
and
Everybody
when someone
else was
is
just sudden, like no nothing. Like my dad with the massive heart attack. My grandson, they said he had a enlarged heart and was infected, but he didn't become sick to the day that he died. So he had no showing of anything, no illnesses, no nothing. He just woke up that day. His mom said he was crying a lot. She kept trying to feed him. He just was acting like himself. So she called the ambulance, and they took him to Fort Washington Hospital, which isn't the greatest, and then they were at that time weren't really into children, so they pretty much kind of
yeah,
like
that was
they
like
monitor
more like an urgent
him.
care place, right?
So they kind of monitor him until the ambulance came to transfer him to children's. So I don't know if it was the time frame in between that they would have gotten there sooner. I mean, you just don't know. But I'm like, to me, a baby dying is so it's so selfish. Like they have no time to live. Like it's so unfair, and to any kid, especially any child, honestly. But a baby who's not even wet their feet good in the world, and to lose their life is just sad. It's just and it happened to me. And like I said, all of them I never thought would be my story.
Right,
Not like that. Anyway, not like that.
right.
So it was
I am.
it's rough.
That is just so heartbreaking, and to know that just almost a year ago, this happened to your child. Have you
Mm.
had to go to court? Have you had to be in
Well,
court
not
for
yet.
any of that?
They were supposed to have one in December, but they postponed it. Somebody didn't have an attorney, so now you're supposed to wait till not until July sometime. So we haven't done that yet. So I'm sure that's going to be another situation because to sit there and have to go through it and relive it all over again is,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I'm sure it's going to be a rough time, but I have to be there because I need to look at them. I need to see and I need to know why, what was the reason. And I might not even get those answers, but just, something,
Right, right.
something.
Wow. The strength you must have inside of you to have gone through all of this and you still
Mhm.
sit before us today looking amazing and living your life.
Yep. Yep.
Girl,
Just going one day at a
one day at a time.
hmm And what
God
I have
is,
decided to
mm,
do is well, like I said on May the 5th, I want to try to well my goal is to launch like a nonprofit more so, but it's so when I was going through all the stipulations of planning the funeral and just doing all kinds of things, that was, of course, anybody knows planning it is the roughest ever. But when I say I was so out of it that I couldn't get anything done. Like I had a neighbor that was great, and he was a friend of my son's. I mean, when I say he found the church, he had the pastor, he told me which funeral home, and then my cousins and them stepped in, they wrote everything up. They had everything because my daughter would come to me like, "Mom, did you do this?" I'm like, "No." What are you talking about? Like I was so gone because I still could not wrap my head around that this is my child I'm planning this
your
funeral
baby.
for.
We're not supposed to bury our children.
Exactly. So I said that I wanted to be now that person. And I said every time I hear about an organization, it's always mothers against this and moms doing that. So I wanted to form an organization that would not just include the moms, it's going to include the dads as well. So it's going to be fame, and it's called Fathers and Mothers Enraged. And so that's what I want to do, to reach out to people. And I mean, at the beginning, of course, monetary, I can't help, but my body and my soul can be right there with you. If you need me to help you find a church, some flowers, anything, I'm willing to be that person, to be that middle person, to do the things that that person cannot do. You know, I want them to be able to call me up, email me, whatever they text me, whatever it be, you know, whatever they need, and they can't feel like they can do it
And
themselves. I
you,
want to be the person.
oh, we got to get that going.
Yeah.
You got to get that
And
going.
I have something for you. I have to bring it to you at the studio, but this is my little mug. It's how the heart is piercing, the bullets piercing the heart with the Band-Aids. So it's fame, fathers and mothers enraged. I said, because it's so bad.
Tanya.
They talk so bad about our black men and our dads not being there, but there are some real stand-up men who can love their children. So I want them to be a part of it, and not just the
Okay,
moms.
so I'm gonna be your accountability partner because I want you to get this going, and
Okay.
I want to be able to help you in whatever capacity I can, because I believe in that. I mean, I love that. I
Hmm.
love that. Fame.
And I have this little dog keep coming at me. This is my little support pooch. This is Duchess.
Hi, Duchess.
Because all my son's
Oh,
friends called him Dutch. So I got her after he was murdered. So that's my little baby.
oh my
So yeah.
gosh. Wow.
Hmm.
Woo, girl.
Yes, yes,
Mm.
yes, yes.
Listen, you got through it. God is
Yes,
still in your life.
yes, he
God
is.
is going to open doors that you never even imagined with fame. Watch what I
Hmm.
tell you. Doors are going
Yes,
to open, Tanya, that you did not. You're going to be able to, you're going to say, that had to be God. Like,
most
there's
definitely.
no other way. Watch. I feel
Yes.
that in my spirit right now. When you told me about what fame means,
Hmm.
that's why I said
Yeah,
I'm going to be your accountability person and be like, Tanya, where you at with
yeah,
this nonprofit
yes,
opening up?
definitely.
Got to get it
I need
going.
that. I need that.
In your mind, when would you have it open by? So let's say, Terry, I'm gonna have it done by
So that's what I said,
August.
by the 1 year anniversary, by May the 5th.
Okay,
May the 5th.
okay, okay. Good. Stan is on here. He's saying once you get
I
that
see
going,
him.
he has a grant writer for you.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
yes, and like I said, any type of whatever, like, hey Terry, do you know somebody that whatever,
Okay.
please lean on
I
me
sure
for
will.
that because I feel like we're all in. They go look at Chanel, next
Thanks,
level.
Chanel.
Yes, that's what
Hmm.
this is all about. We are in this together, and if we can all have similar mindsets of being in this thing called life together and walking through our life trauma together, transitioning from trauma to triumph together. Imagine how
Yeah.
great
Yes.
the world would be.
So the
But it
first time
starts
I
with
watched
us.
this, I didn't even go to sleep one night. I watched like 5, 6 episodes. And when I say I laughed and cried all night, I was like, oh, I love it. I love it.
Because you're going to laugh sometimes and you're going to
Uh,
cry.
yes,
All of
that's right.
that.
I didn't even go to sleep. I was like, "Woo, I gotta keep watching."
Yes.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Chanel Diggs.
Yes,
We love you.
yes, I will
That's one of my
reach out to you.
that's one of my trauma to triumph ladies, and her story was amazing as well.
Mhm.
I appreciate that so much because Tanya, this is what it's all about.
Yes, yes.
This is what it's all about. And we're helping each other. We all gonna help each other. We all have something that we can offer to another. And
Mhm.
the more and more of us do that, the better off this place called Earth will be.
Yes, yes, indeedy.
I thank
Yes.
you. I
Thank you.
thank you for doing this. I thank you for your strength. I thank you for being an example for other moms. Do you know how many moms go through this? Probably every day we're hearing about
I
some
know.
young man's life being taken. Like even not,
Mhm.
if not in the DMV, but usually it's somewhere in the DMV,
Right.
daily, whether it's in DC, Maryland, Virginia, or somewhere somebody is losing
Mhm.
their child
In
to gun
life,
violence.
yeah. Yes, this is bad.
And
It's
so
bad.
your strength right now, showing this to others is going to help so many other moms and dads probably as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because they get to see, okay, well, if she can do it and she can still stand strong, she's
Yes.
still looking good, she's still working, she's still being a mom and a grandma, opening a nonprofit, I can too.
Yes.
I can get through it.
It's gonna be
You're an
some rough
example.
days, but you gotta keep pushing. You definitely gotta keep pushing.
You are an example. When you had your roughest of times, you made it through,
Mm-hmm.
you
I
know?
did. I could be driving
And
down the
so,
highway. I cry. The next minute I'm laughing. So I get through it. Gotta get through it.
yes,
Yes.
and I'm sure now he had other children,
Yes,
your
he has
son.
4 daughters and a son now.
Okay,
Hmm.
and so all those are all your babies and your angels left,
Yes,
you know, from your
definitely.
son.
Hmm.
But
Yep.
you see though, listen, a lot of people your age, because you young, you still young. So a lot of people young like you, Tanya, don't have those many grandchildren. But
I
listen,
know. I know.
but God is funny style. Like God be knowing stuff before we know, and He
Right.
knows what's
Exactly.
going to happen,
Mhm.
and He knew that you needed them
And
babies.
I sure do. I sure do.
He knew
Definitely.
that.
Hmm.
You know that
I love on them all the time, as much as I can.
as much as you can,
Hmm. Call
and
me
help
up. I pick
keep.
them up.
Do
Yeah.
any of them remember their dad? Are they young, old enough
So the
to remember?
oldest is 11.
Okay.
So 11, 9, 7, and 6. So all the older ones do. That he has one that's going to be 3 this weekend. So
3 year old
with
wouldn't remember.
babies kind of. But the other day, his mom called me and she was getting him dressed for daycare, and she said he left out the bathroom. He took his little step stool, went up to the dresser, and he grabbed the button with my son's face on it. So he wanted her to put it on his clothes. So he has some kind of, because he used to stay with my son. His mom worked nights, so my
Hmm.
son kept him a lot, like every day, when she was
So
at work
there's
at
a
night.
bond.
So
There's a
he has
bond
that.
that develops.
He had a very close bond, and like I said, he might not remember that that's daddy, but he knows that face and that he was
Right.
with him often. So yeah. Hmm.
Wow.
Or he'll look
Wow.
at pictures of him and you can kind of tell that he recognizes, but he doesn't really know. But so yeah.
Wow. Well, honey, I thank you. I thank you for saying yes to this,
Thank you.
and being a part of something that is going to be healing to others. So I
Yes.
thank you for that. I really
Thank
appreciate
you. Thank
that
you for
so
having
much.
me. I appreciate it.
And I want to plant. I want to put this out there that I want to. My first brunch is for moms and daughters, but I'm planning to do several Trauma to Triumph brunches, but each one of them will have a different type of theme. And one of
Okay.
them will be losing a child to gun violence. And I'm going to want you there and I want you to be a part
Sure.
of it. So
That's
just putting that out there now that I'm drafting you. You've been
okay.
drafted.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. And we're going to do that. So thanks again for any of you all who are watching. Thank you so much for tuning in to
Yes,
another
thank you.
episode of Trauma to Triumph. Thank you so much for supporting this project. Thank you for your prayers, your donations, anything that you all have done along this journey to help this project. I'm very, very grateful because it's not just about money and donations. Your
Right.
prayers have taken me way further in this project and in this journey than money could. I believe in the power of prayer. So just continue to keep this project lifted in prayer that we can continue to move forward and take it to the levels where we manifest it together, y'all. We're gonna touch
Yes.
and agree. This
Yes,
time
indeed.
next year, we're gonna be global, y'all. Okay?
Yes. Everyone will know about you.
That's right. If you are watching and you have a story of life trauma that you want to share of how you dealt with your life trauma and how you're living now triumphantly, please go to my website www.trauma2Triumph.com and you can submit your story that way. You can also email me at info@trauma2Triumph.com. Send your story via email or you can DM me, whatever works for you. If you know somebody, it's not you, but you know someone, please refer them to the show, to the platform, so that we can get them scheduled as well. And that being said, I do want to close with a quick prayer, Tanya, if that's okay with you,
Oh,
and
yes,
then
definitely.
we will end the night. So, God, thank you for this platform. Thank you for women like Tanya, men like Stan and James Oxley, who have been a part of something that is going to be changing lives forever. We are going to change lives in a way that will make you, Lord, proud. I thank you. I hope that Tanya was able, her testimony, her story was able to touch one life, just one, and anything other than more than one, we consider a bonus, Lord. So thank you for that. And I thank you for what's to come that we can't see. Thank you for Tanya's Fame nonprofit. We are already considering it done, and it's going to be prosperous. It's going to be big, and we are claiming that. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right, y'all. So next week we've got another amazing episode of Trauma to Triumph Tuesdays. I got this story next week is really good. So I want y'all to make sure you tune in, set your schedules. Next Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be back for another episode of Trauma to Triumph Tuesdays. Tanya, this live will be on my Instagram once we're done, but I will edit the beginning and it'll be posted officially on my YouTube channel, Trauma to Triumph YouTube, and then I'll send you the link so you can share it with anyone you want to share it with.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. All right.
Okay. All
All
right. Thank
right.
you. All right,
Thank
y'all.
you.
Good night. I'll see y'all next
Good
week. Okay.
night.
Bye.
Bye.